So just fueled 325.9. I saw the ads on the highway because the Pilot and Loves were, you know, 346, 350, some crazy numbers. And this is Illinois. The town is called Tilton, I think. Tilton, Illinois, 61833. And they were advertising that, you know, 325. And this is a roadies, and it's a marathon. What did it say? Tilton. Tilton. So even though now I have my e-log, no wait, my e-log is not tracking my fuel purchases, only the miles, but I still see I still record my miles each time I cross the state line or province border, because I have to have a backup. And today's what's today day? August 14/21. And you guys realize how much work it is to make the gallon number exactly 90 gallons? It took me like 2 minutes, you know, dispensing fuel at a tiny rate to make sure everything was zero. It's real hard. And now also that audit taught me that it's always good to, I didn't used to do it before, but now each time I fuel I record my odometer. Of course mine runs in clicks, in kilometers, but it's very helpful because what happened with that, so I got town, date, gallons, so that should be enough, right? Yeah, date, town, gallons, and mileage. Yeah, so now I record my mileage every time, because that audit guy was asking me, oh, send me your fuel receipts with mileage. Yeah, and I said, I'm sorry, I don't have that. Like, I can send you fuel receipts, but there's no mileage on them. Like, this guy was asking me something like totally, you know, out of science fiction style. I said no. And he said, okay, just send me your mileage or kilometers in each jurisdiction. And I was able to do that after I activated my e-log, you know, the more advanced option. Anyway, how far do we still have to go? Oh, I'm about 10-15 miles away from Indiana finally, but I still have 358 clicks to go to my destination for today. So I'm just gonna write down here Indiana, and the first three are gonna be 300, and then I'm gonna add the last three numbers. But yeah, now my e-log in there, that unit thing connected to the ECM, captures my mileage. And I wanted to mention two purchases. So first, I finally, my old inverter finally died. It started beeping like crazy even though the engine was running. Normally that's enough. And I went in, I checked my charger for the Mac. It's 96 watts. And so I went in, and I didn't want to buy again the big one. That one was 400 watts, and I don't like them. So I bought 175, and I made sure that 175, it was consistent 175 watts. And what I like in this one is that, check this out, that's a solid connection between the cable and this, and it only gives you one choice, right? Whereas on that one there's like two connectors here, sometimes they get loose. I like this. And then it even has this, so I think it's another one or something. Why would you plug in 12 volts in here? Maybe, oh, maybe if you want to smoke a cigarette or something. But anyway, this one has 3 plugs, and then it has a separate plug for you know, a cable for the phone or for the tablet. And yesterday I was able to, I started using it, and it didn't beep. There was no beeping because it doesn't develop such high voltage. You know, I like this. This was 50 bucks, $52 I think, plus tax, 55 bucks. I got it at world's largest truck stop, Iowa 80. That purchase number one. And purchase number two was actually not something I purchased, but it was something somebody purchased that I created. And you have any idea who you're listening to? You're listening to a truck driver, former teacher, a current trainee accordion player, and a semi-professional photographer, believe it or not. And I can honestly call myself that as far as photography is concerned, because I sold probably 5 or 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 things on pixels.com, where people can buy my pictures in a frame or as a t-shirt, as a mug. One guy bought a phone case with my picture. You know, like when they go there and you choose a picture, there's a bunch of things that how you can buy it. You know, it's not just you can buy it as a framed picture, of course, but then you can put it on a t-shirt, you can do a mug, you know, you can do a phone case, you can do a beach towel with my picture.
Turn right onto Georgetown Road.
But or you can do a postcard. So I think I sold about, yeah, like somewhere 7 or 8 in like 3 years. It's like nothing, you know. But still, somebody's buying my photography, right? So the amount does not matter, but that's why I'm saying that I'm semi-professional, because you cannot live on this money, but I'm making money with photography, you know, like that's, for me, that's kind of cool, you know.
500 meters, use the right lane to take the I-74 East ramp to Indianapolis.
But then I was watching a video a couple of years ago. I was watching a video, one guy, where he was saying how you can make money with photography, and of course he was talking about stock agencies, and I was a bit skeptical at first, because stock agencies, wait a second, is this
Use the right lane to take the I-74 East ramp.
it's this one, yeah, okay. Yeah, because stock agencies, they were cool back in, like, you know, 60s, 70s when they just started, because
Merge onto I-74.
lots of people actually got pretty rich, because all you gotta do is just, you gotta walk around and take pictures of everything, you know, like apple, human hand holding an apple, you know, knife and fork, human hands holding a knife and fork, like any picture that you think magazines and newspapers might need to illustrate a story, right? And so when you get like 5,000-10,000 pictures of this typical, you know, everyday stuff, then companies start buying your photos, you know, not just once, but 10, 20, 30 times. And you can make some, you know, serious money. But this was like back 20-30 years ago, right? They were saying, oh yeah, a stock agency, that's your ticket, you know. But so now this guy was saying, no, you can still make money, not as much money. And so I found one in UK that's, oh, look at this guy, a truck full of junk, no signaling, cutting me off. This is the guy that was sitting at the intersection, ready to jump in front of me when I was passing. So anyway, yeah, I found this. I did a search on the internet, like what stock agencies are good, you know, and one popped up in UK because they pay you 50%. I think at first it was like even 70% or something, but then they send all of us a notice that unfortunately due to global economy trends and our president recently switching houses and moving into a bigger house, we have to drop your percentage from 75 to 50. We apologize for the inconvenience. We might again raise the percentage when our president moves into a smaller house. You know, and that's understandable, right? So you have a big mortgage, so you need more money. But anyway, what's cool about this stock agency is that whereas Pixels, people buy a physical product, right? They can buy a framed picture, or they buy a t-shirt with a picture. Like some lady bought a t-shirt with my face on it. That's good taste. Some guy bought a small, like a 4x6 framed picture. Once I took a picture of a moon at night with the snow, and it was called Cold, and it did look, you know, pretty good. I got out of the truck, I see this full moon, and it's like freezing, minus 30 Celsius, you know, and I took out my camera. I thought that moon looked so cool, and there was an old house next to it, so I took that picture. Somebody bought it, I made 10 bucks, right? That's Pixels, because the guy actually bought a little postcard size picture. Now this stock agency, they don't sell physical prints, they sell digital image, right? They sell files. And nowadays that's much more interesting for customers than a print, because who buys a print? It's an individual, right? It's somebody like you and me, you know, John, Sergei, Mary. They just want to have a picture. Okay, it's super nice picture. They want to print it out and put it on a shelf. Like a couple of guys bought you know, a picture of my truck. Like on my Pixels website, I have pictures of my truck with a load, because I thought maybe some subscribers would want to have a picture. And so I sold a couple of those, like also made like 5-10 bucks. And again, for me, it's not the money, it's just the proof that somebody found them interesting and entertaining, that they thought the picture was good enough to pay for it. And for me, they're just saying that I know how to take at least a $5 photo, right? But the stock agency, right? I think in 2 years I only made 3 sales. Like 3 times my pictures were purchased. But each time it was a company. A company bought the picture. No, wait. Once it was a guy, but the guy paid like 100 bucks. I made 50 bucks on one sale. Compare that to $5 on Pixels. And that was a picture. Once I was walking around near a truck stop, and back when I was doing wildlife photography, and I saw these cute cows, like a big cow with a bunch of calves standing next to it, and when they heard my camera, you know, shutter going off, they all turned their heads to me, and it was so cute. I love just how, you know, they were so clean and cute, and it was a nice weather, blue sky. And so I took a picture of these cows, even though I was looking for some wildlife, and they were so cute that somebody bought it, and they paid the agency the money, but they bought it for private use. Yeah. And then recently I got an email from the stock agency saying that there was another sale, and I go to the website just to see, okay, what is this? 487. So I go to the my contributor dashboard, where my account settings are, and I can see my sales. Turns out a company purchased one of my images for use in marketing materials, and I think that's way better than selling a picture to a private person. So this was, if you remember, I think it was last year when I picked up a big Volvo excavator and I went from Michigan to the north of British Columbia, and then I delivered that machine over there. I was sitting there for a few days, right? There was no loads, and then I moved to Prince George. I went, I think, like 500 miles or something empty east to Prince George, BC, and I was sitting there for a few days. And so as I was sitting in Prince George and there's mountains all around, I rented a car and I was just driving around, and then I thought I would try to find a high spot and try to take a picture of the mountains. I was actually looking for the mountains, and I found out after researching the Google Maps that there was a university over there, university in Prince George, and that university was on a big hill, kind of almost like a mountain. And they were saying on Google that from that spot you have very interesting views of the city of Prince George. And I remember I grabbed my camera. I think I had I used now I don't have it anymore, but back then I had Nikon D850, a very nice camera even though heavy. And I think I took my 35mm and my 70-200 f4, and I drove this little Hyundai car to the top of that mountain, and I took a bunch of pictures of Prince George with the mountains in the background. And that's what this company purchased. They bought a picture, like a bird's eye view of the town, you know. And I think I'm gonna make 50 bucks, I think. So, you know, 2-3 of those a day, that would be awesome. But like one sale in 6 months, that's more like a hobby. But I'm telling you, it's when I see something interesting, like I saw that eagle. I saw the eagle when I was loading that Braun drainage plow last time, right? And so I took a few interesting shots of a large eagle. Actually, I thought that's what somebody bought. I thought somebody bought that eagle's picture. So yeah, that's what, you know, makes my life a bit more interesting, less boring, because, you know, it's all, I drove on these roads many times before, like where I'm driving now, this I-74. Now we're coming up to 480, what is it, 445, 465. I'm guessing that's Indianapolis or something. And then as a trucker, if you can have some hobbies, like in my case photography, content creation for YouTube. I have my car, see the Challenger. Right now I have a Charger where, okay, in this one I'm not doing any mods, but there was another hobby I did with Challenger, and now I'm learning to play the accordion. So I think we all should have some hobbies. Otherwise life can be a bit, you know, lopsided, you know, one-sided. that's all I wanted to say about this unexpected sale of my picture of a Prince George downtown. You know, I like it. It's interesting. So now I have a Nikon D780, which is lighter and smaller. And I also paid $300 US to remove the AA filter. So now that camera is now as sharp as D850, even though it has less pixels. But now, see, I did one mod. It's the story of my life. I'm always trying to mod or hack something when I see that I can make it better. And so that camera without the AA filter, low pass filter, is sharper and produces more beautiful images. All right, so this is still I-74, but now that's it. We are in Indiana. Oh yeah, we have 108 clicks, 67 miles to the bypass around Indy. And unfortunately I see some red color on the highway, even though it's Saturday today. So it's probably I'll be stuck in a traffic jam somewhere there. And so yeah, I gotta reach Dayton, Ohio. That's what my final destination for the day. Saturday is just east of Dayton. I found a truck stop, because from that one it's 500 miles to the port. So I gotta drive for at least probably 4 hours today. And why? Because yesterday I stopped at Iowa 80. So I should have driven a couple of extra hours yesterday, but I got lazy. Yeah, lots of bikes on the road. I saw a bunch of these guys before, like three, four at a time. Now this is what, like 6, 7 people? Yeah, so one guy, one of the bikers, the 4 of them were passing me on the left. One of the bikers had a skeleton on the back seat of his bike. So I'm still wondering about that. Like, how long has he been riding without stopping? You know, that's amazing. So the person in the back couldn't take it anymore and just kicked the bucket. And not only that, but he lost, you know, everything off the bones. That's just wicked, you know. That's why I say these bikes can be dangerous. All right, Indianapolis, 70 miles. Interesting sign on the right, a Republican. Verify the media before you believe them. No signature. I think somebody wrote that about Fox News. So the cruise control is set at the whopping 91 clicks an hour. People get very excited behind me. 56 miles per hour, but it's Saturday. I don't have to be at the port until Monday morning. And the fuel is still pretty expensive. So, like I mentioned before, right? I paid $3.259, and I bought 90 gallons. Got some beautiful clouds today. Would look nice on a picture. Oh, I forgot to mention, I had Axle 3 in the air, right, all the way from the spot where I dropped that drainage plow. And then this morning when I stopped at the rest area, I decided, hey, why am I driving with 3 axles on the ground? So I dropped the suspension, killed the airbags on the front axle, hooked up the chains, and then reinflated everything. Oh, and I dropped the front of the trailer on the ground. So this pushes the front axle of the trailer, you know, further into the ground. And then I hooked the chains, raised the front of the trailer, reinflated the suspension on 2 axles only. So now I have axle 1 and axle 3 in the air. And driving like this, I'm getting 30.6 liters per 100 kilometers. 30.6, now 30.5. I think it'll be probably close to 30 because I'm driving so slow. So that's pretty good. 30 liters. Of course, loaded with this 60,000 pound load, I'm guessing I'll be somewhere around 55-60 liters. So it increases by 2 from 30 liters to 60 liters. Approaching Indianapolis, Indiana, 4 miles away from the bypass. 6.6 clicks. And looks like I'll have to go on 465 because they're saying there was a sign, overhead sign, that said I-70 is closed at I-65 downtown. Through traffic, use I-465. So I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm gonna catch I-70 east. So I'm switching from, this is I-74, right? And then I'm switching to I-70 after the bypass. And just received a voice message from my brother Alex, who spent 3 months in the south of Russia at the sea, at the Black Sea. So finally he says he's back in Moscow, And the distance over there, you know, like he's always amazed at how many miles or kilometers I do in a truck one way. Because over there, for him to get from Moscow to the Black Sea coast, it's about 2 days of driving, but
Faster would be I-70 East, which saves 4 minutes if you prefer to stay on the current route 10.
which is probably just 650 miles, but at the very bottom there, like there looks like the 2-lane roads, and then he has to go through the mountains. So pretty much you still need like 2 days. Whereas here, like this particular run from Minnesota to Baltimore, that's over 1,000 miles. Okay, yeah, I see the big red sign, 6570 through downtown, closed, no through traffic. And this thing just told me, right, that a faster route is available. It says it's 4 minutes faster if I go through downtown. But I don't like going through downtown. I'd rather go on the bypass. And so yeah, he's back in Moscow, and he says he just did the service on his SUV, and it's one of those big ones. After 60,000 clicks, 40,000 miles, he had to do a big big service, which cost him like $900. I don't think we have something like that here. Like, it's not that expensive, but his SUV is it's like one of those Skoda, which is now owned by Volkswagen. So it's pretty decent, kind of like Hyundai over here. We have, you know, like a but I think his vehicle is actually was like, when he told me the purchase price, it was like $40,000 US. So not exactly cheap. All right,
600 meters, keep left to stay on I-74. Follow signs for I-465 south.
all right, so I need this one. Yeah, so this is 465 south, 74 east. And he went to visit my mom, who lives just north of Moscow,
Keep left to stay on I-74.
in a small town. He says she's doing okay, so she's gonna be 85 in December, and that's why I wanna go to Russia, visit her, because, you know, she's getting old. And we are on 465. He was asking me about my drone. He said, did you sell it? I said, no, I still, and this is my response, I still have that mini Mavic, what is it called, Mavic Mini. Well, last time I tried to use it, I had some issues with the small propellers. You know, it's always stored, I have a solid case specifically designed for
600 meters, keep left to continue on I-465
for this drone, but maybe, you know, when you put it in, it's easy to misalign the propellers. And when I try to use it, I got a message on the phone. It says rotors
to continue on I-465
two rear rotors are blocked. And I look at them, they were not spinning, you know. And then I played with them, I made sure they were loose, just moved them a little bit and they started working, and then I was able to take off. Otherwise, the drone does not, the computer program does not allow you to take off, because out of four rotors, two were blocked for some reason. I don't know how that happened. This is the first time I see something like that on a drone, and I'm always super careful how I put it in.
600 meters, keep left to continue on I-465 south.
So if it happens again, I'll probably have to find some kind of a shop that can check it out, see what's going on, because yeah, it was, I think I paid about 400.
Left to continue on I-465 south.
I paid about 400 bucks, and it does take great footage, especially video, you know, like very steady because it has stabilizer, crisp, clear. And I bought it so that I can do videos, you know, when I'm loaded, so I can do a video, a bird's eye view of my loaded truck. And also it's great for taking pictures with an unusual angle that you cannot otherwise take, you know. So it's Saturday, 3:45, 3:44. So now I lost 1 hour compared to the morning, because I started in Walcott, Iowa, in the Central Time Zone. Now I'm on Eastern Time Zone, right? Once I entered Indiana. Still lots of traffic, not as bad of course as during the week, but the road is not exactly empty either, as you can see. So you gotta keep an eye on people merging or trying to merge from the right, changing lanes from the left. I have my exhaust brake on in position 2. So as soon as if I hit the brake pedal now to disable the cruise control, it'll start braking. And I think there's a slowdown ahead. I saw some brake lights. We're gonna keep rolling till I hit I-70. See if we can maybe capture some unusual alien spaceship landing right on the freeway. You never know. So yeah, 70, you can get to the downtown, but I don't think you can go past there'll be a detour on 65, so I don't know why Google wanted me to go there. Okay, I see up ahead the blue color of the road, of the freeway, changes into yellow, slow. You see, as soon as I touched the brake, the exhaust brake came on. And then I put my foot on the throttle and the exhaust brake turns off. I like this. I usually drive like this when I'm inside a busy area, so I am ready to start braking right away. That's why they slow down, because I think there's a light in there. There's a set of lights at the end of the ramp. Okay, where are we? We're almost at the bottom. Yeah, we're at the bottom of the bypass. 27 clicks to go to I-70. Brake lights, brake lights. Construction or something? Pepsi is hiring CDL drivers. Bonus $2,000 bucks. But that bonus, they always play tricks, you know. They say, hey, $2,000 or even $5,000, and then well, yeah, we do have a bonus, but it's payable after 12 months. If you stay with the company for 12 months, we'll give you $5,000. Something like that. Like, I don't think these guys will give you 2,000 bucks if you sign up right away. They'll probably say, well, we'll give you $1,000 now and the other 1,000 after 6 months or 12 months. They all play tricks like that. I decided to get into the curb lane because I'm 10 clicks away, 6 miles from my exit, and the traffic is pretty heavy, so if you wait, then people might have an issue, you know, with you trying to change lanes in the very last moment. Some guy just gave me a finger like 10 minutes ago. I was in the middle lane. No, I was in this lane. And then I saw the traffic in front of me was slowing down before an exit ramp. So I was trying to change lanes and there was like a lineup of cars. And then the last guy was pretty far away, so I started moving left. And of course he increased his speed not to let me in, and then he went around me and hit his brakes. You know, I go left, he goes left in front of me, and then he shows me the finger. So what do? You just stay calm, keep your distance. And his car was, I look at his car, like the rear, like damage everywhere, you know, like in many cities people don't care, you know, his car is all basically, it's a wreck. And I figured, wait a second, so if this guy hits his brakes, and of course he's gonna stop much faster than me, right? So if I hit him, he'll say it's my fault, right? So I just backed the heck away from him. And yeah, you need to have lots of patience in this traffic. All right, 7 clicks to my exit. And just east of Indy, about 15 miles on I-70, everything is red. And Google says plus 11 minutes. So it's an 11-minute traffic jam. it's already 4 o'clock. I still have 209 kilometers to go to the truck stop that I found. I'm not sure I want to drive that far, you know? And plus there's that big slowdown. So it's gonna be more than 2 hours for sure. So let's say 6, it'll probably be like 7 o'clock before I reach that truck stop. And 7 o'clock, this is Saturday, right? So truck stops usually are not too busy, but you never know. So the later you come in, the fewer spots there'll be, right? All right, 3 clicks, 2 miles. Exit 44B. Of Challengers I've seen today. The red one, similar to the one I had, except this looks like a V6, or because it's not lowered, right? Like my RT Scat Pack. See, as soon as you miss, people start passing you on the right. Behind me, right? And these 2 lanes exit, so instead of slowing down for a second behind me and then keep going, he goes left, passes me, and then goes back right. You have to brake anyway, right? Because there's a light at the end. Like, what? People have no patience. All right, so now we are on I-70 East, heading towards Dayton. I probably want to stop somewhere around 5 o'clock. I don't want to drive till 7. So if I see a truck stop somewhere, I'm probably just gonna call it a day, because I'm gonna be in a big slowdown anyway. Okay, Dayton is 107 miles. Yeah, I'll probably just drive for, I don't know, another hour, 50-60 miles. Because I didn't do any exercises yesterday. I didn't do any exercises this morning. I wanna grab my sticks, my walking poles, you know, and do some Nordic walking, because I've been sitting all day. And then of course I need to do my accordion exercises. Maybe, you know, I do 30-40 minutes depending on how I feel, and there's definitely some progress. So I'm playing with the same 2 or 3 melodies. I just train with 2 hands just to make sure that, you know, I go forward only when I'm fluent with both hands for that particular exercise. Then I go to the next one. But I'm still doing lesson number 2. I still don't feel confident moving to lesson number 3, because that one has a pretty complicated song called Kalinka Malinka. I'm not ready for that one yet. So anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good weekend. I'll post a video probably Monday, at the end of Monday, after I load that brand new shiny Volvo L180H, I think it's called, wheel loader, 60,000 pounds. Пока.